You're tuned in to B&T Unscripted. Get ready for raw, real, and unfiltered conversations with the award-winning radio show host Tiffany K and her co-host Brandon. It's life, love, and laughter. Unscripted, unpredictable, and unforgettable. Buckle up. You're listening to B&T Unscripted.
And we're back at it with another B&T Unscripted. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Brandon.
Thanks so much for joining us for this next episode.
Yes, we're excited to get after it today.
Yeah, you may have noticed we're kind of slowing down with some of our episodes with postings and things like that. That's just because life.
Oh, yeah.
Life is happening, but don't worry, we're still going to post.
We're still having a good time.
A couple times a week. Yeah, we're still having a great time. Yes.
You know, it might be 1, it might be 2, it might be 5.
15.
You know, I don't know. We might travel to Italy and just record
We're traveling to Italy?
Yeah, record an episode or something.
You didn't tell me we're traveling to Italy.
I really want to go to a soccer game.
In Italy?
You know, one of those like FIFA World Cup things. I don't know what they're called and stuff. Hold on. I got to get my Diet Coke.
Oh, gosh. We're going to hear it. Ooh.
That was crisp.
That was
really crisp.
I heard somebody say crisp the other day, and I was like, is that like the new thing as a kid to say like crisp? Apparently it is. You're cool with the kids, babe.
I guess. You know, remember like in Deadpool, he's like, crisp high five.
Oh, yeah. That's a crisp high five.
I can't give you money, but here's a crisp high five.
Look, I tell you what, one of these like conversations today is going to have to be about like the slang that I hear from my kiddos when I teach dance. Like that is the only way that I am keeping up with them and I am being a cool person. It's like how do you keep up with slang when you get older, right? And it's because either you're around kids, like you teach.
Or you're in school or whatever.
You're in school or, you know, you have kids. And I think it's the coolest thing because I used to think, oh my gosh, I'm so behind. Like I don't know the slang nowadays, which I also think some of it's stupid.
Yeah.
And I wonder how it comes about. Like who comes up with some of these? And then like how does it get shared across like the entire world, right? So everyone knows it. But now I feel like I'm really cool because I can actually ask my students like, oh, what does this mean? And they'll tell me without judging me. And then I can actually use it. And I'm like, look, I'm so cool. I'm part of the group. I'm not, but I feel like it. Like the things that they say to me during class are just hilarious. Like the other way, like crisp is one. What's the other one? Huzz. I learned that one this year.
That one's pretty funny.
That one's from one of my lyrical students. She's hilarious. And she comes in and she goes, Miss Tiffany, I have a huzz. And I was like, you have a husband? Like, I'm like, because that sounds like the shortened version, right? Husband type of thing.
It's pretty fun.
And I was like, oh, you have a husband? She goes, no, not that type of huzz. I'm like, what other huzz is there?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, like I have like a crush in school.
But she calls it.
But it's apparently a huzz.
A huzz or whatever.
Right. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I told her the other day, I was like, yeah, I have a huzz too. Brandon. And she's like, no, that's not what that means. I was like, what do you mean?
With the eye roll.
Yes, with the eye roll and everything. I was like, what do you mean? You just say it's a crush. I'm like, I can crush on my husband and he's also my husband. So it makes sense. She goes, no, you just don't have it. Right. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. But she's also the one who tells me every week she has a new crush on a 6th grader. Because she's in 6th grade, and all of these 6th grade boys at her school somehow have abs.
Oh, yeah.
They somehow have 6-packs. And I'm like, one, how are you seeing this? She's like, in gym, they do their pull-ups to show off or what. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
And then, 2, she's like, they all have 6-packs. I'm like, girl, do you know what a 6-pack is? And I'm not talking about, like, 6-pack of, like, Coke. I'm talking about, like, abs. Yeah. She's like, yeah, well, they all have them. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because they don't have any, like, muscle mass.
Right.
It's just skin and bone, you know?
I was like, I'm pretty sure when I was in 6th grade, it was, like, all a bunch of tall, lanky boys.
Everyone at
Sorry,
that age
guys.
is, like, skinny unless you're, like, an outlier and you're, like, look like an NFL linebacker at 12, you know?
Not in her school, okay? Don't tell her that. Yeah. In her opinion, it's all a bunch of 6th graders with 6-packs. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Whatever you say.
Okay.
Okay. But Huzz was a fun one. Crisp is another one.
Yep.
There was one more that you said the other day that I was like, oh, I hear my students say that. See, you're on top of it more than I am. And you don't teach.
Well, when I did, like during the COVID era, you know, they would keep me up to date on stuff, you know, or like the first graders would have the dances, like the floss
and
stuff. And they would just like run up to you, do it and just go
run away. Yeah.
I'm like,
every time.
All right.
You're like, okay, there's that other one. We just saw at a dance competition 'cause I'm a dance teacher, where you put your hand up to your nose and like you put your other arm in front of you and you wave it.
Yeah.
And like at first I thought like, I don't know why they put it in this dance, but I thought it was like something stank. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's the new thing.
Yeah.
And then I brought it up to one of my like teenage classes. And they're like, no, Tiffany, that's not what that means. I was like, well, what does it mean? They're like, it's like swimming. And I'm like, well, then how is that like, it's supposed to be like a jab at someone. And they're like, no, insult? Like, yeah. They're like, no, you're swimming towards them. And I'm like, okay, like what? Okay. They're like, it's just for fun. I'm like, you guys make no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like if I was doing martial arts still and someone did that to me, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, you're like, what? Okay.
It's not going to help you.
I was like, I can't tell if you're saying someone stank or swam towards you. And if you're swimming, I'm confused.
Yeah.
So now I know how our parents felt when we were growing up with slang.
Yeah, I guess we are getting old, huh?
We are. That's a whole nother subject.
Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on to something that can also make you feel old, AI. So this is our first daily headline. And I saw this earlier and it was saying that AI is actually causing people, so like ChatGPT or any of those, is actually causing people to make bad decisions in their lives, whether it be relationships, work, different things like that. And one of the things, it was interesting that people are actually trusting AI more than their own intuition, their own instincts, or their own friends or family, to the point that these chatbots they have found are now telling people what they want to hear rather than what is
I've seen
accurate.
That.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Like apparently AI is giving bad advice just to flatter its users. So it can be anything from relationship advice to, was it wrong that I did this? A, B, C, D, E, right? And it basically AI is like saying no and giving it flattery.
It's on your side, no matter what.
Every time. Yeah. And this creates such a very harmful thing, according to researchers, that what's happening is now all these people are focusing on AI, on chatbots, because it's hyping them up. Right. And it's saying everything you do is right, that we're now losing our moral compass for certain things.
Yeah.
And so they're saying the problem is that these AI assistants need to be made more to the point of not agreeing all the time to that person, but rather ask questions, or rather, treat it more like a human response than just, oh, I'll tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And they said, this problem may get worse before it gets better, because the problem is the point of using AI. You're supposed to be using it to get real facts. But a lot of people now are using it to make themselves feel better. And
like therapy.
Right. And the problem is that these people aren't going to want to make AI tell you what you don't want to hear, because then people will stop using it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. From a business standpoint, I get it, but it's so bad.
Oh, it's awful.
So bad for like just everyone in general, but I can see why the creators did that. But for people that don't know, and I've heard about this, but if you go into the settings, say it's ChatGPT, you can go into your settings and make sure like you can put like a setting in there for the AI. Like for mine, I always put always tell me the truth, or try to, and be like completely honest with me, like brutal truth.
Interesting.
And sometimes it'll tell me, but granted, I can see where it does like still like be biased or whatever towards me.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Or try to support me more than it, like it should, So
well, that's the thing. Like, there's now becoming like, at first it was like, oh my gosh, AI, ChatGPT, you can use it for all these things, and now we're finally finding the flaws within it, right? And people were even saying, like, I saw an article the other day that a professor said the one way that he can tell that someone's used AI for their papers is because they use the word nuisance. And he was like, I've never heard a college student use the word nuisance in my life.
Yeah.
And it's those little things, or like when people just copy and paste and they don't unbold.
Edit.
Yep, those things. Or even, I was on a scholarship committee recently. I was mediating the group. I wasn't on it. But one of them, the people on it, was saying it's sad because they're noticing, they could tell what recommendation letters for students for a scholarship were done with AI.
Yeah.
Because people aren't taking the time to do so. And one of the scholarship committee members was like, you know, if a student really matters to you and you want to help them, why wouldn't you just write a personal recommendation?
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree. That's the thing. Like, I've been having these conversations, and it's just like, yes, I've used AI quite a bit throughout everything, right? And I can pick up on when I can see now, like differences just by looking at people's stuff, or say I'll have some help, you know, doing some of our business stuff, whatever. But I can see when professors are using it too. Yeah. So I'm gonna
get on that high horse.
All right, I'm gonna get on
that high horse.
I'm like, all right, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody, you know, or the professors or students and stuff like that. All you guys are using it. I don't want to hear nothing, because I see, you know, school announcements in my college and stuff, and they're using AI, and I'm like, I see it, and it's like, dude, get out of here with that. People are like, oh, you're using AI. So is everyone else in the world, guys, you know. So.
Well, you know what, and I will back that point to you, because I was talking with some high school students recently. Mm-hmm. I was at a volunteer event or whatever, and I was talking with them, and they were so mad because they did all this work, and they're saying, we're doing all this work and our teachers aren't even grading our papers. They're having AI do it. And they know that. And I'm like, yeah, you see, this is where the flaws are coming in, because eventually we're going to get to a point where
not self-reliant.
So reliant on it.
Yeah.
That it's just not going to happen.
Yep.
You know, so.
Well, that's the thing. I've been toning down my usage, to be honest, because I see the bias, and I see the articles of people making bad decisions off it. And, you know, whether or you're being over reliant on the tool itself, you know, yes, are we still going to have to use it, you know, for the time being? Yes, because that's the way the world is going right now. So you have to stay up to speed on it. But that's the thing, being able to just discipline yourself and, you know, be like, all right, I don't really need to use this thing. I'm going to try to rely on my own brain, you know, which your brain is still a powerful tool, you know?
Yeah.
And still, like, I don't think anything can beat a actual recommendation letter that actually has human feeling to it, or like an actual book or a paper that's been written by, because I know for a fact, you know, I can just tell the difference is like when there's actual human emotion to it, you know?
Exactly. So there's our rant about AI. I just want to throw that out there, because you had strong feelings and I do too about that. So if you can, try to keep your kids away from the AI as much as possible. Also remember, take it with a grain of salt. You know?
Yes. Be disciplined.
Be disciplined with it. It's okay to use it like Google was meant to be used as a search engine, but it's not okay to replace your brain with it.
Yeah, I actually been reverting back to what I used to do, is just use a Google search. Because I'll have, yes, it does give you the AI summary, but it actually gives you people's opinions as well. And that's where you can really still have that human interaction, just going back to using Google search. You know? So that's what's been helping me.
Well, we ready to
move on?
Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's what it is.
Well, we might as well move on to a little bit of music corner. I do have some country news for you.
Nice.
This is all about advice today. So let's start with Thomas Rhett and his wife Lauren. They are coming up on 14 years of marriage this year.
Congratulations.
And after welcoming their 5th child, it's safe to say things are very hectic in their household.
Yeah.
So how did they make their marriage work? Well, Thomas Rhett and Lauren Atkins were actually on a recent podcast chatting about this, and they both gave advice. Now, Lauren spoke about remaining each other's best friend, while Thomas Rhett's piece of advice was a little bit different. He said it's all about intentionality. So he admitted that his advice on marriage changes year to year as life changes, but ultimately intentionality is key. I do think it's really easy, especially once kids start coming into the picture, to become roommates or just joint parenting partners.
Yeah.
But he says you have to keep the romance and the connection alive in a marriage, and you have to be intentional when you ask questions that can help you show up for your partner. So those questions can include asking what your partner needs from you, where you may be lacking, and how you can show up better in the future.
Yeah.
He said, I think just learning how to be intentional, because it's so easy to put, for them, 4 kids, now 5, to bed at 8:45, 9 o'clock at night, and then just sit, watch TV, and you could say couch rot, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're so tired from the day. But instead, you could use that time where if you had an argument earlier in the day to go back to it, to try to resolve it, rather than just letting it go under the rug. Or if there was something you were talking about got interrupted by the kids, to go back to that.
Yep.
He said it's not the easiest thing in the world, but it is something that definitely helps for a longevity of a marriage. He said recently he asked Lauren this, what do you need from me in this season of life with a fifth baby? And she said, I just want you to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so that we can read our Bibles together and we can have 30 minutes before the chaos begins.
That's nice.
And Thomas says,
really cool.
What's so funny is that waking up for him is the hardest thing on the planet. He says he can do anything else, but waking up in the morning is the hardest thing. But he intentionally does it every day to make sure that that connection is still alive.
That peace and quiet, or that little bit of time, you know, together. Yeah, that's nice. That's
so
really
if you're
idea.
just starting marriage, like us, if you've been with someone for a while, you're trying to look how to reconnect. If you're in a relationship, maybe you're not married or things like that, that's definitely, I feel like, I thought that was a good piece of advice to share.
Oh, yeah. I know what helps us is going for our walks and talks. You know, that really helps, especially since it's getting nicer out. You know, even if it's only like a 10, 20-minute walk, or just walking to the mailbox if you have a long driveway or something. Being able to use that little bit of time we use it to like just talk about anything, or just air out our concerns, you know, or if I, you know, made you mad or you made me mad and we want to talk about it with a judgment-free zone.
I was about to say, it's like a safe space, and I think it's easier because you're already walking off that energy.
Yeah.
That's not pent up, as if like, think about if people have an argument, you're sitting in the same space. And so that energy is running through you.
Yeah, you're focusing on the walk itself.
Right. Whereas if you're focusing on the walk, you're not as like likely to snap or something.
Yeah. A lot of, not a lot, but I know some therapists that do that, have the walks and talks, and it's like active, I forgot the proper term. I think it's active therapy or something. I don't know, but they actually, excuse me, have that with their clients, you know, to get them to talk and be more comfortable.
Well, speaking of walking, that leads us right into our next country story, by the way. Jelly Roll shares uplifting mental and physical health regime.
Yeah, I saw he's getting after it.
He is getting after it. So
Instagram.
This is the one thing he says he does every day to stay on top of his mental and physical health. He started taking that seriously within the past about year. We've seen how much weight he's lost and everything, which is great for him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But he shared a video recently that gives fans an inside look at his current health status and how he gets to that point each day. He says he wants to start the day positive. So how does he be positive every day? Well, in a TikTok video, he explains how walking each morning has helped both his physical and mental well-being. And he wants to pass that on to his followers. He goes on to say, man, just go take a walk and really sort through your thoughts. From a former Navy SEAL motivational speaker, David Goggins, he said, you got to beat that bleep out of you first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
He says, I instantly go from being angry about things to meditating and turning into praying for them. It's just crazy how fast my mind shifts just in that 1 hour of cardio I do every morning. Now, here's the other thing. If you're worried about an hour of walking first thing in the morning, maybe it's just not possible for your schedule. Maybe you're like me and you struggle to get up that early to actually work out. Jelly Roll has the solution. He says it doesn't have to be an hour. Y'all, it could be 15 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. Start somewhere, anywhere. And today is a great day to start.
Yep. Yeah. I always, you know, speaking of like a health journey and stuff, I've been getting back after it and starting training again after like my injuries with my back, and you know, some injuries that I had in the Marine Corps, they still bother me, like with my legs and stuff like that. But you know, you know how I get frustrated because I'm so competitive, you know, and want to do my best. And
well,
you know,
I think we're also in this phase of like a different life phase where we're leaving our 20s.
Yeah.
And we can't, you know, unfortunately, we can't do everything we did when we're 18.
No.
You know, especially when you go back into training. So I think that's also weighing on it, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just like you're comparing yourself to that athlete that you were, or like, say, the Marine I was, or whatever, you know. But it's just like he was saying, it doesn't have to be like David Goggins run a million miles in the morning at 4 a.m. And then go run an ultra marathon at noon. You know what I mean? At the same day. But it's better than nothing.
Exactly.
It's better than no miles.
Yep.
It's better than no minutes.
Yeah.
So if you guys are on your journeys, the new year, new me stuff.
I was about to say, speaking about that, I wanted you to talk for a second about that. Like, how's it going?
It's going. I had to switch
Diet
Coke. I gotta I'm still trying to cut a little weight, and still trying to get my body back to what it was. But I'm seeing a lot. You've been telling me I've been looking a lot better, and I've been drinking more water and trying to eat healthier. We've been cooking some healthy meals now, and we've been looking up, on what you're mainly on the TikTok.
Yeah, stuff. I find it all those TikTok recipes. Like, I look up easy, lazy meals that are still healthy,
or your favorite fast food, and we try to make it the healthy version. Yeah.
Look, if something has like 30 steps to it, I ain't doing it. Okay. But if you show me something that's like 10 steps, maybe.
Yeah.
If it's 5 steps, I'll definitely do it. But 30 steps later, I'm like, nope, it's not worth it.
Like
in the
Gordon
end.
Ramsay type stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, butterfly the steak butterfly the steak, and then add the butter to this side with the garlic. No.
Then cut them and let it sit for 15 minutes. Then put it back on the grill.
Nah, bro. Like, why am I letting something sit? I'm hungry. Give me my food.
What the freak? Yeah.
That's usually where you come in and you're like, I'll do it. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, I've been getting pretty good.
I've
with
been getting
cooking,
pretty good.
Well,
I've also been the one who's accidentally been cutting myself multiple times trying to cut things lately.
Yeah.
So.
And you're like, oh, I'm going to cook for you today. And you cut yourself.
Yeah, I was like, maybe you're cooking for me.
Yeah, I had to finish that. But,
sorry. But anyways, you are looking better. Your journey's just begun.
Oh, yeah. And my plan is to hopefully get better than my 18-year-old self, so that is my goal, so I'm not gonna let these injuries get the best of me. So we're gonna get back after it, and I'm gonna keep y'all up to date.
I love it. We want to hear those up to dates.
Yeah. But
speaking of our younger selves, moving on, I had a nostalgic throwback moment the other night. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I can't recall.
Come on. The special just came out.
Oh, the Hannah Montana.
Yeah. Hanniversary, 20 years. I had a nostalgic moment the other night because, one, nobody would watch it with me. Yeah. You're like, I'm not watching it with you. I'm like, well, you suck. And then our roommate, my best friend Shay, she's like, if I have to. I'm like, fine. I'm not going to force anybody. So I watched the special on Hulu, and it was amazing. And I absolutely loved it. And I slightly cried. Our dog Buddy was down here with us while you were asleep, and he was looking at me like I was a weirdo. But
yeah, just crying by yourself.
Look.
To Hannah Montana.
Look, okay, this was my childhood. When I tell you, like, I thought I could be her. Like, I wanted to be like her so bad. I was like, I want this career. I want to be a pop star, all these things.
Yeah.
And then you watched, like, throughout the show, it actually became a show me and my dad watched together a lot because my first ever concert was Hannah Montana meets Miley Cyrus. So the big world tour that her first ever tour she went on that sold out in like 7 seconds everywhere. That was my first concert.
Wow.
And he took me because my mom was like, I'm not going to be around a bunch of preteens screaming girls. So she forced my dad to do it.
Yeah.
Which was kind of that bonding moment for us. And to this day, he'll tell you his hearing probably has never recovered from it. But he was like, and we're both huge fans of music, no matter the age or whatever. He just kept saying she's such a talented young lady. And she is.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
And then he would watch the Hannah Montana show with me. So new episodes came out, he'd be sitting there with me watching it. Oh. So we kind of grew up together watching it, which was really cool.
That's cool.
And basically how the special went was like, I remember originally I complained at one point on this podcast, I'm gonna take it back.
Yeah.
About how, like, I don't get why she's only doing like an hour special. I'd rather have her do a tour or concert or whatever.
Yeah.
And she explained on the special, she sat down with podcast host Alex Cooper and was explaining why she did that. Cause they asked that question and she said, in my opinion, in her opinion, the best thing about Hannah Montana was that everybody could have it in their household, like on TV.
Yeah.
And knowing that not everyone can afford a concert or go there or make it to wherever she went, that's why she wanted to do it this way. She didn't want to do a concert where only so many people could go or something like that. It was a way everybody could enjoy it. So I'll take it back. That actually was a really good idea.
With streaming and stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly. And so what happened was throughout the show, they went on back on the original set. It was set the exact same way as the show ended 20 years ago. And she walked through it, and you just see her like, it's like her authentic reaction to everything. And like how she embodied Hannah Montana into her life now and what it taught her. And they go through all these things. Like, I didn't know that Miley Cyrus was not the top pick for Hannah. They was down to 2 girls, and she was the risk because the other one, she had never done acting in her life. She just did this audition for fun. She even says, because they were in Nashville at the time, she was like, honestly, like, she goes, I know it sounds bad, but I didn't really care if I didn't get the job, because she goes, I had my 6th grade boyfriend back home. And she's like, I wanted to go back to Jeff and cheerleading. Jeff. I wonder where Jeff is today. But she's like, I wanted to go back there. So she was like, I wouldn't have been heartbroken. She was like, it would have been cool, but I wouldn't have been heartbroken. It wasn't those, oh my God, I've been acting for this long time. So on the set, she was the one who'd never acted before, never had experience. She did the audition. It was down to 2, and I don't know who the other person was up for it, but that person was an experienced actress. Wow. And they had the president of Walt Disney Productions at the time come on the reunion. And she said, tell me straight up, was it a landslide when you guys were voting either side? He goes, no, I'll be honest, it wasn't. He goes, it was very honestly not in your favor.
Oh, wow.
And he said, but I went back and I thought about it, and they kept talking about how they wanted to make not just successful TV stars, but like successful like humans, global stars, things like
celebrity
that.
Status,
and that she had the star quality they were looking for. And so he made the final decision and basically sent out an email he read on the reunion saying, you know, this is what we've been looking for, or like, this is why we're going this route, blah, blah, blah. And it says on there, I know that she is not the safe option. We could make it with somebody else, but I'd rather have a conversation years from now and say, oh, do you remember that time we took the risk and it did or didn't work? And so with that, my decision is we're going with Miley Cyrus, which isn't that kind of cool? Like, she was the underdog and they gave her a chance, and she became the biggest pop star in the world.
Well, I mean, I love hearing stories like that. I mean, a lot of our favorite actors or stuff, like, they all had, well, for the most part, had that, like, break, I guess. You know, like that, oh, man, like, if it would have turned left, it would have been a different story. We wouldn't have gotten that Denzel Washington or, like, Matthew McConaughey or all those great actors, or Miley Cyrus. We probably wouldn't have seen her do Wrecking Ball.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I like hearing stories like that. It's pretty cool how different things could be if it didn't go that way. It
also was a very interesting insight into the fact that a lot of people thought she just got it because of Billy Ray Cyrus, because he was already a country artist and popular one, and it wasn't at all. Like I said, they were like splitting hairs.
It was actually like a competition.
Exactly. So I thought it was really cool. And then she just went on, like, she got emotional with it too, to say like how
were you crying with her
a little bit, how it like changed her life. But I was like, it kind of changed mine too, because again, I lived growing up with her. I lived through those realities. That was my escape sometimes, you know, and it was so cool to see all of that. And then she brought on different guests, and she brought on different people, like, who guest starred on the show. Like, Selena Gomez was there.
Oh, wow.
Because she was, like, on the show at one point, which was really cool to see. Her mom, they did a lot with her mom, Miley Cyrus's mom. Her dad showed up, too. They were on the same page. Chappell Roan was there, which I'm not a fan of Chappell Roan, the artist. I was like, why are you here? Like, she had nothing to do with it. They're like, it was more the fact that she's like, I grew up through you. You paved the way for me to run. Like, singing wise.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not a fan of you, but
like, all right.
I was like, well, I could have done without you in the special. But then at the end, I will say it was really cool. Her last gift to her viewers was she wrote a new song for the Hannah Montana fans.
That's pretty cool.
And they released it Friday, and I actually downloaded it on Spotify. It's called Younger You, or Younger Me, or something like that. And it's like it's a
tribute
it's
song?
A letter back to your younger self.
That's
or to
cool.
Her younger self, and to all of ours, because it even says things like, as you get older, don't forget to give your mom a call, and your dad too, because he misses you. Like, things like that. And I'm like,
it's like a reflective song.
And I'm like crying. I'm like, oh my god. Like, it's so true.
That was funny.
So if you have a chance to do so, even if you weren't a huge fan, I do suggest watching it. It's only an hour long. It was really good. I think it was cool to hear all the stories and like just, I mean, again, this Miley Cyrus took over the world. Like at one point she was the Disney. She still is a Disney legend.
Top, yeah.
You know, and so I thought it was so cool. And to this day, she broke streaming records on Hulu and Netflix with this reunion.
Special.
6 point some million people viewed it.
Wow.
Within the first 3 days, which they said broke all streaming records.
That's pretty cool.
So I was like, more power to her. You're still breaking records left and right.
Yeah, she's getting after it.
You know,
it's good to see because I know she had a rough patch, you know, a little bit like everyone. She's human, you know, so it's good to see that she, turned it around. Yeah.
So that's my little reality review for you. And to wrap up the show, wrap up our reviews, we got a review for B&T Table for Two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a great time at, was it Firebird Grill?
Yeah, Firebirds Wood Fire Grill. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We went out with our friend Shay.
Yep.
And it was just like a fun, like, let's just dress up guys and go, you know?
Yeah.
And it was busy.
But it was still packed. Yeah, we had to sit at the, what is it? Like the bar? Not
bar
the bar,
area?
but like the bar tables.
Yeah, it was like bar area. So it's not at the bar, but it was like some of those tables with couches and stuff.
Seat yourself.
Which was really cool. The food was delicious. Mm-hmm. I had the steak. You had a steak salad.
Yep.
Our friend had prime rib.
Yep.
Which we all were like looking at. Okay, at least I was looking at, because you know me, I like mine like medium well.
Yeah.
Or well, and she likes hers like medium rare or like close to like bloody.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it was pretty.
It was pretty pink.
Yeah, it was pretty pink.
I was like,
looking back at the photo that we took, it was like, and a couple of our friends said the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, hey.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
No,
she enjoyed it. But we were looking at the photo. We were like, yeah, that's pretty pink.
Yeah, we're like, oh, okay. But honestly, it was a really great time, great conversations, great atmosphere. I would say if you're looking for more of like, I don't want to say upscale date night, like not upscale, right? Like it's still pretty reasonably
priced. Not like luxury. Well, it's not luxury, but no. I mean, it's like a good night out, date night place. It had a fireplace.
Yeah.
And a couple guys, couples, like the guy had a blazer on, and we were talking with them about the sports on the TV.
Yeah, whatever sport
it was weird sports on the TV. I don't know. It was like, I don't know what, it was like pickleball, but like
with like a tennis, I don't
know. It was weird. It was like a championship game.
Yeah.
And there was confetti and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like these people are taking this serious, dude.
You and that guy the entire time were just watching this.
We were sitting there like for 20 minutes trying to figure out what the sport was. They were like Googling it and stuff. But
I think overall it really is like, if you want to have like a more nicer date night out, you and your significant other want to get dressed up.
Yeah,
right? Or girls' night out or something like that. Great option. Go check it out. I actually liked sitting in the bar area more than at the tables because it was more cozy atmosphere.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, the booth was nice.
Yeah.
That we had.
So I would say go check it out. One on our tops for our upscale date nights.
And it's in like a shopping center, so it's getting warm in the Fredericksburg area. So you can go have a date night and go a little bit earlier, or go walk around the shopping center. There's a mall, obviously. Or, I know people don't go to the movie theater anymore too much, but we still go. We still
definitely
go. It's still a great time. So you can go to dinner and a movie.
And to be honest, the dinner at Firebirds is going to be cheaper than at the movie theater.
Yeah.
So might as well do that and get the tickets.
There and do that,
That's my opinion.
Yep. Have a good dinner, then maybe go catch a movie or something. Yep. It's right there across the street. So.
But go ahead and check it out. It's on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
Yep.
We're everywhere, but you can go ahead and follow us. See our B&T Table for Two. Give Firebirds a check out. Let us know what you think of them too.
Tell them that we sent you.
Yeah, exactly. And then go ahead and let us know where we going next for our B&T Table for Two. We actually have a surprise this week.
Yes, for Easter week.
So we won't reveal it just yet, but we'll have a special B&T Table for Two.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, if you guys, could do us a favor, go ahead and, hit that review button, give us 5 stars because, you love us so much.
And we love you.
And leave a comment under there as well because it does help us with the algorithm and all this AI stuff, all the craziness. So if you want to continue seeing our episodes pop up on your feed, please give us a good review and a comment, please.
We appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for sticking with us. We will talk to you soon. We hope you have a great Easter week. And other than that, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye.